Two MLU insiders, bringing you hard analysis of everything that happens on the field. This is the John and Greg Show.
It's a good interview. Good interview with Michelle.
Yeah, it was good talking to her and talking to Smash. It was.
Yeah, I think we've had a productive day.
Oh, I'd say for sure. Yeah, and big takeaways. I think you can hear it in both of their voices that last year everyone knows was unacceptable. It wasn't what they wanted, and they're clearly taking the steps necessary to make those changes happen.
I love buses, John.
I love buses.
I love
too.
buses. But yeah, I agree. It seems to be very clear, and I think we would have said, this would be our recommendation, a culture shift of some sort. They're saying all the right things, but again, it's not even January. We're in December. Season doesn't start for a while. You could say it now, but you got to do it. That's the other thing, and I believe that they've realized that it's needed,
right,
and that we're going to see a different flavor New York Rumble team. Whether the roster turnover is what it was last year, or I don't know what to expect in terms of who's going to be on this team. I'd certainly like to see some young faces, because I think that's part of the culture shift.
Yeah.
Where they land on the roster is completely up in the air. We don't know anything yet. But it's sure to be, regardless of who's on the team, I think a different flavor New York Rumble team. And I think we can take that just from Joe Anderson's words and what he said.
Yeah, it's just this idea that, a team is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
That whole bit.
Agreed.
And that one, it makes sense. There's a reason why that is a cliche. It's because it's very much true.
Yeah. And with what everyone has said about the culture shift and about the new way that they're going to be looking at players, it'll be interesting to see and telling to see who. What? Is that a plane?
There have been a few helicopters today. They just all.
This is so New York, isn't it?
It really is.
But I think it'll be very telling of certain players, who makes this roster, and then we'll see, what they do in terms of wins and losses. If they're able to combat what we think is a rising Philadelphia team, maybe a falling Boston team, and a dominant right now DC team, that is brimming with confidence.
Yeah, and there's a lot of time until we'll get to see it on the field, which I think for the Rumble is a good thing. It gives them the time to build that culture.
Yeah, I like this idea of starting early and, having your team picked so early in the process that, you have all this time to practice together, because that was a very serious problem last year, was a lack of chemistry and a lack of consistency.
For sure.
Just really a mess on the field. Complete mess. And whatever they can do to clean that up is going to be interesting at the least. Even if it doesn't work, even if they still have a disappointing year, we're going to see what they've tried to do, and then it's still a very young league, so we're not even sure what exactly is the fix.
Right.
There's no history to go back and see, well, this is how you do this. You can't build the draft. There is no draft yet, so tanking isn't really helpful.
Right.
It's really, everybody's in a win now situation every year. So I'm excited for this team to rebuild, retool, rebuild. It's yet to be seen what exactly the strategy is going to be.
Yeah, for sure. And as a bus passes by us one last time during this podcast, we're going to sign off. We're going to go knock out the news piece that we're going to do on some of the young talent here. And you'll be able to see that.
Hopefully that's our last bus that passes.
Yeah, really. So
we've also learned a lot about doing podcasts outside, John.
Oh, yeah.
And how difficult that can be.
This has been a great learning experience in that regard.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the indoor tryouts. It'll be a little bit warmer, although the weather today has been pretty good in terms of what I expected.
Yeah.
I actually took a layer off before we started the show. I bundled up even more. But we got to figure out where we're going next. I'm sure we'll announce that in the next couple of weeks. Probably Philly.
Yeah. I don't think anything's going to happen
in DC.
Yeah, with all the holidays and stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
DC is, if you're in the DC area, they are having their signing party and ring
Thursday.
ceremony.
We'll be going
this
down.
Thursday.
I'll be going down. I don't know about you.
That's my birthday, so I'm going to lay on the couch and not
right.
go to DC.
Have you seen the rings? I saw the rings.
I haven't seen the
Oh
rings.
man, they're pretty. I saw at the investor meeting last weekend.
That's awesome.
Mark Evangelisto and Dan Vogel had their rings for DC, and wow, oh boy,
It's great to see.
they are really. They got the names on the side. There's a little frisbee guy jumping up and catching a disc, and then the top is just all that DC logo like right up there. It's gonna be a fun party, and they have not said who they're signing at this party yet.
Oh,
So I'm excited to see that too.
right. Get a little news going.
Yeah, get a little news. Well, that's it from our first stop of the John and Greg Show 2015 Combine Tour. Let us know what you thought of the show. Let us know what you want us to do in the future. If you have any questions for Philly, which is almost certainly our next stop, please feel free to send them along to us at John and Greg MLU. John,
Yeah.
take us out.
Yeah, so for Randall's Island, buses.
Oh, quick
Dave
shout out to Dave
Pennypacker.
Pennypacker, who came up and produced for us today. Big ups to him. You may remember his Pennypacker picks of the week. We tried to work one into the show today, but there's nothing to pick because there's no games for 4 months. Why don't you go ahead, Dave, now and pick New York's first game, win or loss?
I think they're going to come out strong and win.
He's making the same mistake I did last year.
Without knowing who the opponent is.
So the Pennypacker pick of the week is that New York starts 1-0.
Okay, that's a pick.
If you're right, Dave,
I get a segment.
Dave will get us. If Dave is right, if the New York Red Bull win their first game,
Yeah.
Dave gets a segment.
Dave can get a segment. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a recurring segment. We have to see how you do, but we'll interview you at the very least. From Randall's Island.
Yeah, for the M35 bus, which goes from Harlem to Ward's Island. I'm John Phillips.
I'm Greg Fallon. Thanks for listening.